Hi. Today let us discuss the poem by Stephen Spender, An Elementary School Classroom in a Slum. From the very title, you would understand that the poet is taking us to a school which is very different from what you have experienced or what we have seen. This is a school where you don't find most of the facilities that most of us enjoy. The children do not even have basic needs satisfied. They are malnourished. They are poor. They don't have any exposure to the world outside. Some of them are suffering from genetic diseases. And this is a kind of a world the poet wants us to notice. And that is where his ideology comes up. The poem has 4 stanzas. If you look at it structurally, the poet has done it so systematic that the very first stanza is about the children in the classroom. The second stanza is about the classroom and the donations in the classroom. Third stanza, you would slowly find the poet giving his opinion, his comments on the situation, where he also depicts the poverty, the miserable condition of the children and the slums and their world. The last stanza, he comes out with solution to the problem. Who can help these children see the world which is outside, or who can help them have all their basic necessities and needs satisfied. So stanza 1, we find the children are described. If you go deep into it, it's very clear. But one thing you should understand is the poet uses no sweet figures of speech or imagery for the children. Let me show an example. The second line of the first stanza. Like rootless weeds, their hair torn round their pallor. Pallor is pale. On their pale face, you find the hair is scattered, and the hair is compared to rootless weeds. You know what are weeds? Unwanted growth. If you pull those weeds, they would easily come off because the roots are not strong. They are not deep rooted. The poet says, these children's hair, they are also like rootless weeds. Why they are not deep rooted? Because they are malnourished children. And this very clearly, powerfully, strikingly shows us the world in which they live. One more example, the paper-seeming boy with rat's eyes and a boy who has inherited nothing but a disease from his father, a genetic disease. He didn't inherit any wealth from his father. So how can we show a harsh reality with the sweet words? That's not right. And that's the reason Stephen Spender uses harsh imagery, unconventional imagery for a harsh reality. So once he introduces all the children in the classroom, he takes us to the second stanza. He takes us to the second stanza where he shows us what is the classroom like. There are donations on the walls of the classroom. And if you look at the donations, none of the donations are of any use to these children. Let me ask you a question. Let's imagine a team of volunteers, 2 teams, Team A and Team B. Okay? They are asked to go and help some poor children in the slum. Imagine you are in one of these teams. And they make a plan and go to help. Team A goes to a slum and distributes laptops, mobile phones, gadgets, etc. to the children. And they say that, yes, we have done something for the poor. Team B goes to the slum and they understand that children do not have proper food, nutrition, they don't have good clothes to wear, they don't have good furniture to sit on, they don't have books and stationery. Team B decides to provide them with all these things. Now tell me, which team has done a service which is quite relevant and actually necessary for the children? I'm sure the answer is quite obvious. Team B has done it. So when you help somebody with something, you should also make sure that the person actually requires it. So the poet indirectly shows you in stanza 2 a contradiction in the classroom, an irony in the classroom. What is that irony? These poor children do not have proper food to eat, they don't have proper clothes to wear, they don't have any exposure to the world. They are given things like picture of a green landscape. How does it help them? There is a picture of there is a picture of Shakespeare on the wall. None of these things serve any purpose to these children. So he says indirectly that give them what they want, but it is not given. And whatever is given, they actually do not want. So that's the irony in the classroom. And he slowly says that give them something which would expose them to the vast world outside. Right now, their world is just the narrow street in the slum. They haven't seen anything beyond that. Third stanza, the poet once again tells us how physically ill-nourished they look. What a pathetic sight it is to see them wearing broken glass. Their whole body is like a slag heap, a heap of waste. This kind of rude and harsh imagery he uses. And he says, none of these donations are serving any purpose. Shakespeare or the map in the classroom or the picture of green landscape, no. And slowly you will find the anger in the poet comes out. The indignation, it comes out, it surfaces. And the poet says, only these people can help. The governor, the visitor, and the inspector. Whoever comes to the school, if they take initiative, definitely the situation of these children, the life of these children can be made better. And they would definitely see a better world. There is no better window to this world other than education. So Stephen Spender is trying to tell us that when you talk about education with gadgets and facilities and modern amenities, don't forget such children also, where they don't even have proper classrooms to study. So this poem is trying to give a value. The value that you can catch from this poem is, if you are enjoying the facilities of a good school and learning system, also remember what little bit can you do for the children who do not have all these privileges. Maybe when you pass out from school, you can donate some of your books to these children. Or when you earn, give something to those who did not have the chance to get educated like you. So read the poem. It is very important to have empathy in life. And that makes you really educated. Thank you.